Welcome back everyone. So in today's video I'll be showing you how to build a transactional database with artificial intelligence. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, so like I mentioned, in today's video I will be showing you how to build a transactional database with artificial intelligence, and in particular we will be focusing on ChatGPT and DeepSeek. Okay, so why artificial intelligence? So artificial intelligence has been on the rise over the last few months, and a lot of companies are adopting it. And as you can see, there are a lot of articles that are being written on the benefits of AI, and you can see this article here from Berkeley written Artificial Imagination, the Rise of Generative AI. Okay, so you can see exploring the potential of generative AI to bridge the gap between artificial and human creativity. Okay, so you can read through this article. There are so many articles that have been written, but you can see that with generative AI, human creativity now can be enhanced. So the things that used to be very manual and used to take so much time can now take a very small amount of time to finish. And in this video actually we will explore that. We will explore how you can quickly start a transactional database with entity relationships with the use of AI. Okay, so there are a lot of applications with AI. So these are some of the things that you can use generative AI for. So you can use generative AI in music composition, art and design, financial forecasting, customer behavior, demand forecasting, healthcare diagnosis, fraud detection, fashion, and virtual worlds. Okay, even in content creation you can also leverage artificial intelligence. Okay, so there are a lot of things actually that you can use AI for, and it makes your life much easier. All right, so in this video again I will be showing you how to create a transactional database with the help of AI. So if you are wondering what is a transactional database, a transactional database is basically a database that you store day-to-day activities. So let's say whenever you go to a store and purchase an item, that is a transaction that you've made, and every time you do that there is a database that is storing that data. Okay, so that is storing your user data, your purchases, the amount that you've paid, anything that is actively storing data whenever you interact with anything. Say you go to a gym and somebody is there putting in your information and all of that, that's kind of a transaction. So basically a transactional database stores your live data as you interact, as you go about, with your daily activities. Okay, so you can see here a transactional database are optimized for running production systems, everything from websites to banks to retail stores. These databases excel at reading and writing individual rows of data very quickly while maintaining data integrity. Okay, so whenever you go to a bank and you withdraw money, or you open an account, or you deposit money, so those are the kind of transactions. And so a transactional database will store that kind of data. The difference, the other part of this transactional database, is analytical database, what they call all-up databases. So those are things like BigQuery, Redshift, and that those kind of databases are used or are optimized for analysis or data analytics. So you don't have to store transactional data. So some of the transactional databases that are out there include things like PostgreSQL database, MySQL database, SAP HANA database. Although SAP HANA also can be optimized for analytics, but you can also use it for transactions. So basically any database that stores your day-to-day interactions, your website. If you have a website where people are go to daily to either download or read news or things like that, there's a transactional database that will be storing that information. Okay, so you can see here with the transactional database you can read and write individual rows of data very quickly while also maintaining data integrity. Okay, so this is also another feature of transactional database. The data that you have, or the tables that you have in your transactional database, should have some kind of data integrity. And with this we introduce now a new feature of transactional database called entity relationships. So this is kind of how tables relate in your transactional database using specific keys. So you can see this diagram here, you have some kind of entity relations. So entities are like the tables, and the relations is how you have the attributes within these tables relating to each other. So you can have here an author. You have, if you have a table called author here, and then a book, then how do these two books, two tables here relate to each other? So there should be a key that will be connecting these two tables here. The same thing with publisher. We have a customer here and a shopping basket. What is linking, these two tables? Okay, so the idea of a primary key and foreign key relationships is very popular with transactional database. Okay, so in this video I'll be showing you how to create transactional database with tables that have this kind of relationships. Okay, so these foreign key kind of entity relationships. All right, so let's jump to it. So we will be using ChatGPT, like I mentioned, and DeepSeek. And ChatGPT is a generative AI tool that OpenAI created. So this is a US company, and it's been there since last year, 2024, 2023, and a lot of people have adopted it. A lot of companies have adopted it, and I've been using it. It's a great tool. Okay, so the other one is DeepSeek, and DeepSeek is also very similar to ChatGPT. It's a AI company that came out of China, doing pretty much the same thing that ChatGPT does. A lot of people have said that DeepSeek runs faster than ChatGPT, but we'll see in this video how you can actually create your transactional database using this tool. So we'll create one database with ChatGPT, and then the other one also with DeepSeek, and we'll see how the data will be comparing. All right, so let's get to it. So what I will do is I will put a prompt to ChatGPT to create the data for us. So this is how the prompt will be looking. So we will ask ChatGPT or DeepSeek to generate a MySQL transactional database with 5 or more tables, and these tables should have data, and the tables should have entity relationships among them. So the entity relationship here is how the tables will be relating to each other. So that's like primary key, foreign key relationships kind of. Okay, and we want to create a database. We want to switch to it and also create the tables. All right, and the tables should also the script should also include a sample join queries as well. So kind of just, this is just a very high level prompt, and we're basically asking ChatGPT or DeepSeek to create the basically create a database, and inside the database we want to have 5 or more tables. And the reason for this is we also want to have some kind of relationships between these 5 tables. We will have entity relationship. This is also for data integrity, and then we will ask ChatGPT or DeepSeek to create the database, switch to it, and then we want to create the tables, basically having the insert statements and all of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I will copy this and I will put it. So we'll start with ChatGPT, and we'll just paste this one right here, and we'll see what ChatGPT will do. So you can see ChatGPT is pretty nice, right? It's you can see here it's doing all of this. Okay, all right, so you can read on the side here, which is pretty neat with ChatGPT. So here is my SQL transactional database schema for e-commerce with entity relationship among the tables. And you can also see this is a documentation that while it's still generating, it includes customers to store customer details, orders to store customer orders, product details, order line items, payments, and all of that. Okay, so you'll see how I'll generate the SQL script, including database creation, table creation, inserting sample data, and some join queries. Very good. You can see here this is this script sets up an e-commerce transactional database in MySQL with 5 related tables. Very good. This is what we need, right? So again, you might be wondering why you will want to do this, right? So if you are a beginner starting your journey in SQL, things like this will make your life much easier. I remember when I started my learning journey in SQL, it used to take me so long to kind of create these sample databases and have the data. Okay, so you might be in the same scenario where you are trying to just have data quickly and just see how this kind of repression integrity works, and all of that. So with AI like ChatGPT tools, then it makes that process much easier. Okay, so you don't have to spend a lot of hours doing this anymore. You can just come here, ask ChatGPT to do it for you, and then you can proceed with your learning process. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll just go ahead and copy this, and I will switch over to my dbeaver. Okay, so this is my dbeaver, and right here I do have my connection to my SQL server established. If you want to know how to install my SQL server in your local environment, I have previously made videos where I went through the process of downloading and installing my SQL server on your machine, and also I have a video where I went through the process of installing dbeaver and how you can actually make connection from dbeaver to MySQL. You can see here I do have connections also to other databases and data warehouses. You can see I have BigQuery connections to my Postgre. I do also have Redshift, Snowflake, and SQL Server. Okay, so I have all of those videos available for you if you're interested in taking a look into how you can do this. Okay, so once you're here now, I'm going to go into my SQL database here, and you can see I do have only 2 databases currently here. So what I will do is I will just go ahead and create a new SQL script here. Just open a new SQL script and we will just copy that script. Okay, so this is a script that we got from ChatGPT, and all we have to do is we just want to run this. Okay, so we'll run them line by line. So we'll start with this first one here. We'll create a database. Okay, actually we need to separate this. We will start with the database. We'll create the database. Okay, you can see the database has been created, and then we will switch to it, and from here you will we will go ahead and create the first table, which is the customer table. Okay, so you can see the table has been executed, and this table has these columns, and it has the primary key in this case is a customer ID. Okay, and then for the product table we'll just go ahead and execute this as well. All right, so product table has been created, and the key here is the product ID. All right, and then we will go ahead and create the orders table. There we go, order table has been created, and so you can see here we are establishing now a relationship in orders table, and this one is referencing the customers using customer ID. All right, so the relationship here between orders table and customer ID is a customer ID. So you do have customer ID here, and also in the customer you have a customer ID as well. Okay, so that's how these 2 tables relate. All right, and then we move to the other table here, which is order items. Okay, we'll go ahead and do that. All right, and you do have here the relationship between this table and 2 other tables. Okay, so this one is relating to orders with order ID, and also products table with product ID as well. Very good. And then we'll go ahead and create the payments table right here. Okay, so payment table has been created. You can also see the foreign relationship. It references orders, and it's using order ID to join those 2 tables. All right, now let's go ahead and insert some data. So you have here 2 records here. You can also tell ChatGPT to generate for you more data. So in this case we didn't tell ChatGPT to do that. If you wanted, let's say 10 records or more, then you can just say I want the tables to have at least 20 records each, or 100. ChatGPT will do it for you. All right, so we'll go ahead and also insert data to products. The same thing with orders, and then here the order items, and then payments. Okay, there we go. All right, so we have now all of our tables created, and we have our data as well inside those tables. So we'll go ahead and refresh, and you can see now there's additional database created here with tables as well. Okay, so you see we have 5 tables here, and you can actually go to these tables. You can view the data. We have some sample data here, and the neat thing with dbeaver is you can also see the entity relationship. So you can see customers and order do have entity relationship on customer ID right here. Okay, and then with order items you can also see the relationship. So you have order items here, and this one also has relationship with orders, and products with products, product ID, with orders, order ID. Very neat. Okay, you can see orders also has more relationships. Okay, so you have orders here, and this is kind of like a star schema now, if you are familiar with the star schema model. So you can see this one is sitting in the middle, and you have other tables kind of joining to this. All right, so this one has relationship with orders, payments, and customers. Very good. And you can also fill the data and all of that. Okay, so let's go back to our script. And now here you can now start running some queries. So ChatGPT has provided with kind of a very high level select query here. You can see right here we have we are selecting order ID, first name, last name, basically just getting some fields from 2 or more tables here and joining them on a common key. Okay, and you can see we have the data right here. Okay, so in this case we are joining orders and customers on custom ID. Okay, so custom ID is the primary key between these two tables that is common. Very nice. And then you can also go to this other one here, query to retrieve order details including products. Okay, you can see, so we have order ID here, product name, quantity, and the price as well. Awesome. And this one we are connecting order items with products. Very good. And then the last one here, query to retrieve payments along with customer and other order details. There we go. All right, so you have the payment ID here, the first, last name, order ID, the amount, payment method, and the status. Awesome. Okay, so you can see just in a matter of a few minutes we have a transactional database that is functional and working. So you can go ahead and expand this database. Again, just remember this is not a real database, it's just a sample database, but it's very good for you if you are in your learning journey and you want to know how transactional database behaves and how you can actually use this foreign entity kind of relationships in your database. Okay, so we have created now our first e-commerce database using ChatGPT. Let's see if we can also do the same thing with DeepSeek. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this and we will go to DeepSeek and we will do the same thing. So I'm just going to paste this here. Let's see if this one will be doing the same thing. Okay, so we'll this one. Okay, there we go. So it is also running through it. So you can see below is an example of MySQL transactional database with 5 tables that have entity relationships. The database represents simple e-commerce with customers, orders, products, order items, and payments. So I don't know if this DeepSeek is using kind of the same data with ChatGPT, but you can see it's kind of very similar. The output is very similar. So you can see the tables here that we have kind of are related. So you can see order items, products, orders, which is kind of what we have here, right? Yeah, so whichever one you use, I would say, I guess, is it gives you the same results, kind of. All right, so we'll go ahead and copy this. So we'll copy this and then we'll just switch over to dbfy here, and I'm going to, let's just close this, and we are going to open a new script here. I'll go here, open a new script, and we'll just paste that. Okay, so this one is e-commerce db. Okay, very similar. All right, and then we'll just switch to it. Okay, so we have switched to it successfully, and then we'll just copy the create DDLs, copy here, paste, and then so we'll start with the first one here, customers, create customers table. Good, we'll create the products table. Good, and we will create orders table. And you can also see now the entity relationship is also being established here between orders and customers using custom ID. Very good. And then with order items as well. Very good. So you can see now the order items is relating to orders and products, very similar with what you had in ChatGPT. And then finally we will have payments right here. Okay, and the relationship here is to orders with order ID. Awesome. And now we will move to the third step here, which is inserting. Okay, so this is the insert statements here, and we will just put it at the bottom here, like so. Okay, so we will insert 2 orders to customers. There we go, successfully. We'll do for products as well, and then we will also do orders, and then we'll do order items and payments. Very good, no error. Okay, so you can see these scripts are just flawless. Up to this point we haven't ran into any error at all. They are running and they are doing what we need to do. Okay, And then now the last thing that we do here, you can see now we have some queries here, so we can copy this query and go to the bottom here. We'll just do it here, okay, and you can run this query right here. Okay, so this is a select query, and this query is joining orders to customers on custom ID. So you can see that with DeepSeek it actually writes the query in a very readable manner. Okay, so if you compare this with the other one for MySQL, for ChatGPT is putting everything in one line. I like this structure better, where you are separating everything into a new line, and also you are calling out, you know, if you're joining two tables, where, you know, which table you are referring to for a particular field. So in this case, for order ID, we are getting it from orders, order date, orders, and the first name, last name, and email, we are getting them from customers. Okay, so it just makes it easier to know which table a particular field is coming from. Okay, so this is your data. Very good, it is looking good. Okay, and then we go to the second query here, retrieve all items in specific order. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so you can see here we are joining 3 tables here. Okay, order items, we're joining on products. Actually, yeah, 2 tables, order items and products. There we go. So we have laptop and smartphone. Very good. And retrieve all payments for a specific customer. There we go. Okay, so we'll run this one here as well. And this one is joining. This one is actually this one here. Okay, payments joining with orders. All right, let's go and execute that. Okay, so this is just for a particular custom ID number 1. So this is the payment date, the amount, the credit card, and what the order ID is. Okay, all right, so you can, you know, do more now. There is a lot of other queries that you can do with you know, you've been provided with, just as a starter for you to start. Okay, let's run this last one here. All right, there we go. Okay, hold on, this one actually is only this one here up to here, right here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is a product total revenue, so you can see how much revenue you're gaining from each product. All right, so you can see again, you know, with the power of ChatGPT and DeepSeek, you can create a database within minutes. And this is just how powerful artificial intelligence is, and especially with these generative AI tools. It makes your life as a programmer or an analyst or a data engineer, you know, if you're working with any programming tools, really, it makes your life much easier. And you know, if you were to go to Google, for example, and type the same thing, you will not get, you know, the same results. Okay, so and this is how we started, right? Like, you know, for myself, you know, and I know many other people. Oh, now actually it's interesting, because now Google AI now is providing you with this data. Very good. I think this never used to be there, but Gemini now is also very very smart. You can see it's kind of giving us the same information. It's you know, man, it's amazing. I didn't know that, you know, with AI all of these are actually available in your fingerprints. So you can even ask Google nowadays to give you, just to generate for you, you know, you can kind of interact with it and ask as if you were asking another human being, and it will give you. Okay, so this is a Gen AI experimental, so you can do that. But before Gemini came for Google search, it never existed. So you'll need to go to Stack Overflow, and you'll have to actually read these databases. You'll have to go to websites, documentation, read them, you know, read them line by line and know how to do it, which was great, because, you know, it forces you to learn. Now with AI, you just copy paste, which probably, if you're not keen, you may not learn so much. So there are, you know, positives and negatives in each side. I will say, if you are beginning your journey, it's probably much better to go through the documentation and read and make sure that you understand, so that when you use these tools, you are able to understand what it's doing, okay? And you are also able to tell it what to give you, because without that, it's you may not get the best results, right? If you don't know what you want to do. But if you are afraid, you know how these things should be looking, then now you can come to the AI and ask for information, and it's going to make it easier for you, okay? Alright guys, so that is how you can create a transactional database with artificial intelligence. So if we can quickly just go to that second database we created, this is that database. You have your tables here, and you can see the ER diagram as well, which is pretty much similar to what we had in the first one, okay? So it has all of these relationships. Alright, so that's all I had for you in this video. If you found this video helpful, please give it thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you have not, so that you can stay updated for videos like this in future. Alright guys, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.